Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into how nature itself might hold the key to solving one of our planet's biggest challenges, protecting our water. It's a fascinating story about a brand new technology. And believe it or not, it's inspired by some of the smallest things you can imagine. I mean, just think about that question for a second. What if we could cover a reservoir not with some clunky plastic tarp, but with a breathable, intelligent shield that actually works with the water? That's the powerful idea we're going to unpack today. And the reason this is so important comes down to this number. The goal here is to cut water loss from evaporation by 30 to 50%. For places struggling with drought, a number like that isn't just a small improvement, it's an absolute lifeline. Okay, so to really get why the solution is so cool, we first have to wrap our heads around the problem it's trying to solve. And it's not just one problem, it's actually two, and they're completely intertwined. So here's the 1-2 punch. On one side, you have the quantity issue. We're losing incredible amounts of fresh water from our reservoirs every single day. It's just poof, gone, vanished into the air. But at the same time, the very sunlight that's causing this evaporation is also zapping the water that's left behind. Its harmful UV radiation is devastating the aquatic microbiome, all those tiny essential organisms that keep the water healthy in the first place. So how in the world do you fight both of those battles at once? Well, the answer, according to this concept, comes straight from nature's own playbook. Let's get into the Aqua PMMB PollenShield. This quote from the source material really nails it. Let's just unpack that for a second. Biohybrid means it's mixing different natural materials together. Modular means it's built from these small interlocking pieces, kind of like Legos. And its whole job is to block that harsh UV light, to both save the water and protect the life swimming in it. So what are these natural building blocks? Just three incredible things. First, you've got hypoallergenic pollen, which is the secret sauce for the sunscreen part. Then you have beneficial microbes, basically probiotics for the water. And the foundation holding it all together? Fungal mycelium. Okay, so we have the ingredients, but how do they all come together? The design is this really elegant three-layer system where every single part has a very specific, very important job to do. All right, here's how the whole system works. First up, the top layer. That's the pollen film, the actual sunscreen. Tucked right underneath are these little retrievable pods that can release good microbes when the water needs them. And all of that rests on the third layer, a super lightweight, floating raft made entirely out of mycelium. And if you're not familiar with mycelium, it's basically the root network of mushrooms. It is an amazing natural material. It's strong, it's incredibly light, and it floats. And the best part? You can literally grow it from things like agricultural waste, creating these floating modules in a totally sustainable way. Now, this isn't just some cool idea on a whiteboard. Nope. The concept lays out a really clear, really rigorous plan to actually test this and see if it can hold up in the real world. The number one measure of success? Performance. The main goal here is to slash evaporation. So compared to open water, the PollenShield is aiming to cut that loss by up to 50%. That is a massive, game-changing amount of water saved. But here's the really clever part. It's not just about blocking the sun, it's about being smart about it. The shield is designed to let most of the visible light, the good stuff, pass right through, which is crucial for life in the water. The genius is what it blocks. Over 80% of the most damaging UVB rays and 60% of UVA. It protects the microbiome without, plunging the whole ecosystem into darkness. And to prove this whole thing works, the initial 45-day pilot test has some very specific, non-negotiable goals. First, cut evaporation by at least 30%. Second, block at least 80% of that nasty UVB. And third, and this is so important, be able to get back over 95% of the material when you're done. No pollution left behind. But saving water and blocking UV rays? That's just the beginning. The long-term vision for this tech is to evolve it into something truly dynamic. Basically, an intelligent, living skin for our water. So check this out. One of the most exciting future uses is pairing it with floating solar farms. Since the PollenShield lets visible light through, solar panels can just sit right next to it, doing their thing. And get this, by cooling the water surface, the shield can actually help those solar panels run more efficiently. It's a perfect win-win for energy and water. And the vision gets even smarter from there. By embedding a whole grid of sensors right into the mycelium floats, the shield itself could become this massive living monitoring network, constantly checking the reservoir's vital signs. Things like pH, temperature, you name it. And once you have a shield that can sense things, well, then you can make it do things. Imagine the sensors detect something's off, like a sudden spike in nitrates. They could automatically trigger the release of the right kind of microbes from those little payload capsules to fix the problem. It's like the water is healing itself in real time. So, how do you scale something like this all over the world? The idea is brilliant. A mobile factory in a shipping container they call a replicator. You can drop it anywhere, feed it local farm waste like straw to grow the mycelium, and produce the shield right there on site. It completely bypasses complex supply chains and creates a truly circular system. And that really brings us to the big final thought here. From the amazing structure of a tiny grain of pollen to the sprawling web of a fungus, this whole concept leaves you with a pretty powerful question. It really suggests that if we just learn to understand and partner with nature's own incredible technologies, we might just find the sustainable, elegant solutions we desperately need for our biggest global problems.